and more. Welcome to the first episode of 2021. I'm your host, Rob Daniels, on the Barn Burner TV network, ZINGOTV channel 250 on Smart TVs 2016 and forward, and TSN 1150 Hamilton. Got a great program to kick off the year for you today. This should be fantastic. Look forward to welcoming Jim Thompson to the program today. And Jim Thompson is a former NHLer. And he is, get to that on the program, but he's going to touch on some of his years, about 9 seasons or so in the NHL for Jim Thompson. And so we'll talk about that coming up on the show. And at 12:35 today, going to be talking to Justin Levine to get you all set to go for the 2021 NHL season, which kicks off next week. I can't wait till my Montreal Canadiens take on those Leafs. Should be fantastic to see some rivalry hockey like that back in 2021. Actually, if I can show you something now, this is part of my collection. Actually, what my uncle gave me, this jacket, just to show you that I'm not only like your typical, like I'm not a bandwagon jumper. I've been a Montreal Canadiens fan a long time. Here's the jacket. It's fantastic. My uncle gave it to me. And what's awesome, I hope I didn't lose any viewers because I admitted I'm a Montreal Canadiens fan. Please stay on the program. Lots to look forward to because there's a great former NHLer joining us who's played on a variety of NHL teams. So there's the jacket. And what's so cool about this jacket, what I love the best is that there's this crested Stanley Cup in the jacket. And I wear this throughout the wintertime and try and match with a nice scarf and really be proud to wear my Montreal Canadiens gear. So the NHL going to be kicking off next week. And also on the program today, we're also going to be talking to Eric Cohen. There's no Thursday night football this week, but there are games happening on Saturday. So Eric Cohen from TSN will tee us up as to what we'll look forward to on Saturday and this upcoming weekend. Same thing, right? So I want to talk a little bit about Jim Thompson. He's a fantastic guy, and if you follow him on Instagram, I sure hope you do. I want to talk about how he and I first connected, and that was because Jim is a huge believer in fulfilling dreams, not only his own dreams but other people's dreams. And I'm one of those people that he helped fulfill a dream for. I've always dreamed of being a public address announcer in junior hockey, and whether it be the OJHL or the OHL, I still dream the OHL. So I got to host one game filling in for the Steelheads in Mississauga at one point last season. But that's my dream, to be in as many arenas as possible in junior hockey and be a PA guy or in-game host. I love that kind of stuff, and I appreciate junior hockey and what it's worth, and for what it's worth, and all the guys trying to make it to the NHL. And so I love being around the game, and I ask myself, how can I be around the game a lot? And that's a great way I find is doing something you love. And getting to watch junior hockey with it. So Jim Thompson has joined me on the program now. I'm not sure if he can hear me. He's in a fantastic room that looks to be filled with memorabilia right now. Can you hear me, Jim?
I can hear you, Robbie. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm wonderful. Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, no problem. It's so good to see you, and so happy to have you on the show. Happy New Year, first and foremost.
Happy New Year to you.
Am I delayed? Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Oh, thanks so much. Okay, so
You're a bit delayed now.
Is a little delayed. But yeah, I was just coming off the top here of the show and saying that you're a former NHL player. You're a great guy with a big heart. And to give a little background on Jim, he was selected by the Washington Capitals in the 1984 NHL entry draft, and Jim played for the Hartford Whalers, for the New Jersey Devils, Los Angeles Kings, Ottawa Senators, the Anaheim Mighty Ducks, and in total, Jim played 115 regular season games, and he also got to see some playoff action, which is fantastic. He played in 1993 in that very popular series with Doug Gilmour against the Leafs and such. And Jim nowadays is an ambassador, speaker, and advisory board member for Your Life Counts, and he is the owner and operator of the Ontario Junior Hockey League team, the Aurora Tigers, of course, based in Aurora. So again, thank you. Thanks so much for joining me. First and foremost, I kind of want to touch on just how are whole. This is very different. This is not what we're used to. And this is, I don't care how many times people say it's the new normal. I don't want it to be. I think we adjust and then hope that we can get back to the real normal sooner rather than later. How are you doing through all this?
It's difficult, Robbie, just the fact that, we're homebound, right? So, my life is hockey and the team isn't going, as you would know. All training rinks, everything is shut down. I really, really feel for the kids. I look at these young kids, I deal with them, a lot of them behind the scenes, and they're used to be going with their hair on fire, getting up, going to school, working out, skating or football or whatever sport they're doing. And now they're just, everything is stopped. So there's way worse things going on. Don't get me wrong, but you're asking me how it's affecting me. So in my industry, it's obviously shut down, and in my little world of junior A hockey, I'm feeling it for our 20-year-olds who may not play this year and be done hockey, and that really bothers me. So that again is a real small measuring stick compared to the people that are dying and there's in the hospital sick. So overall, I'm fine, but I can't wait to get the vaccine.
Yes, I understand that. Give me 1 second, Jim. I apologize. I'm in a weak internet connection zone, so my internet is cutting up, but I'm going to a better spot. Just a second.
Not a problem. Don't fall.
I apologize. Yeah, as we can see, these are some of the challenges of. Can you hear me now?
Oh yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, this is better. This is a little less delayed. So sorry about that. So yeah, the rinks and the kids. I mean, the mental health aspect. It's I imagine taking a lot of toll on your boys, right? Because it's how do you deal with this? It's
We've been having Zoom calls, Rob. Before the lockdown, we were having off-ice workouts, keeping them engaged. Our assistant coach, Rob Powers, has been giving them home workouts, which has been good.
Yeah.
And, we all need to hope that through this lockdown, the numbers start going down in the next 10 days here, and we start seeing a change. And what we need in Aurora is us to go back to orange, and then we can start playing games, and our league is not shutting down, contrary to what a lot of people think that, our commissioner, Marty Savoy, has made it clear that if we got to play until June, we'll play until June. So, it's tough on these kids. It's tough on all, and it's tough on the parents who are, home with their children that aren't in school. My kids are all older and growing up now, and I know what it's like to have young kids. And if you're working or working from home, and it's tough, that we're really being tested.
Yeah.
Mentally, physically, mental health, all these things. We're really being tested as human beings, and nobody's got it easy right now.
No, and that's for sure. 100%. So what are they saying, or are you optimistic in terms of like a February start, or when we come out of this lockdown? Will it be addressed again, or are we waiting till a couple more months to even talk hockey in junior?
It's a good question. We were hoping to get going in January, but it doesn't look like we'll get going in January, obviously. So, February, March, if we get 20 games in, 25, 30 games, you know, it's better than not playing. So, you know, we just need the numbers to come down. We need to get back to orange. And really what need is the government to get these vaccines moving quicker and get people, you know, get people back into society.
Yeah. Because if it's anything like what we've seen on television from sports in this day and age, like I don't know if you can have anybody in the arena to start out, like except you and the guys, right?
At this point with hockey TV,
yeah.
we need an announcer, we need a timekeeper, we have 2 teams and referees. That's it. And people at the parents, everybody can watch it on TV. So we're not concerned about having people in the stands. We need to get the kids on the ice.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, hopefully sooner or later, and like you said, the vaccine rollout, hopefully that can happen sooner than later. And if I'm not mistaken, I think Justin Trudeau has been touching on some of that as we speak. So in terms of, I want to pick your brain a little bit about some happier times. You know, if we could rewind time in the NHL and some of the great memories you have about it. You played for several teams between the years of 1986 and 1994. And, you know, being around you and the Tigers in the past, I'm always, you know, I'm fascinated to know that you have played that long in the NHL and you had a career in the NHL, which is incredible. And I look up to that and your mindset. So tell me, what are a few of your fond memories of playing professional hockey, if we can go into some happier times now?
I would say moving from Edmonton to Markham, living with my aunt and uncle when I was 16. You know, being in Edmonton, we had the WHA Oilers. They weren't in the NHL yet. And then being, you know, we watched Hockey Night in Canada was Maple Leafs at Maple Leaf Gardens, right?
Yeah.
So to play for the Toronto Marlboros in the OHL, and our home rink was Maple Leaf Gardens, will always be a thrill and a highlight to me. And I'd put that up against any NHL city I played in, NHL rink. You know, the Maple Leaf Gardens to me was the shrine of hockey. So that was a big thrill to come over as a kid and actually play under the lights of Maple Leaf Gardens. Obviously getting drafted by Washington.
Yeah.
My first game, you know, I won't get into the story, but I covered Mario Lemieux, my very first NHL game, which, you know, getting called up for your first NHL game is one thing. At that point, Mario was the best player in the world, and my job was to cover him that night. So that was a thrill. Scoring my first goal in Chicago Stadium against Eddie Balfour was a big thrill. I don't remember it because I got ran over by Dave Manson. So just as I shot the puck, I was laying on my back and didn't know what was going on, and had 4 teammates standing over me, cheering me on, and I had no idea what was going on. But, you know, and then as you mentioned, what's that?
That was in Chicago?
That was in Chicago Stadium, yeah. And then obviously the 93 run with Gretzky, my idol. Grew up in Edmonton, watched them win 4 Stanley Cups before he went to LA. But, you know, to be part of that, coming back to Maple Leaf Gardens, I got to play in Game 5, which was really, really awesome. And then we beat them in 7 games and went on to lose to Montreal in the final. But that was a huge thrill.
Yeah.
And then, you know, a record that I hold, which I'm proud of. I'm the only player to be selected in 3 expansion drafts. So I got, you know, to play in Ottawa their first year, to play in Anaheim their first year, which was really cool. And then unfortunately in Anaheim, I hurt my shoulder, and 2 operations later, I had to retire. But a lot of great memories, a lot of great teammates. And, you know, I sit in this room, I call it my dream room, and I sit and, you know, like, I'm a hockey fan.
Yeah.
So, you know, when I meet an NHL player, I'm in awe like you are, because I grew up a rink rat loving hockey. So my wife thinks it's funny, and I'm like, I'm admired by anybody that played in the NHL. I think
you idolize
them. I'm a fan.
And there's nothing wrong with that, because I think you got to be around a lot of stuff in life that lights a fire inside of you, that flame that makes it worth living, and hockey does that for you, whether you used to play around them or you still meet them. You get that feeling, that boyhood, that childhood feeling inside, and I think that's normal, and you never want to lose that because it's a special feeling, right?
It is, and I'm a hockey fan, so just to still be in hockey and be blessed to be able to still skate and train and
Yeah.
help these kids. I'm blessed with that, and obviously owning the Aurora Tigers is just a lot of fun. And yeah, so it's a lot of great memories, a lot of great memories.
Yeah. How was the forum? Like, because I was saying at the top of the program that I'm a huge Habs fan. I have my jacket there. My uncle gave me a Habs jacket, and I wear it very proudly. Sorry if that's if that's a little bit of if you're not happy to hear that. I grew up.
Oh, listen. Again, growing up, if it wasn't Maple Leaf Gardens, it was the Montreal Forum.
Yeah.
So I'll
Yeah.
never forget my first practice and game in Montreal Forum. Like, see, as a young kid I grew up in a trailer park outside Edmonton. I was the youngest of 10, right? We had no money, and
Wow.
I scraped my way to find sticks and equipment to play. My dad never drove me to hockey because he was working up in the oil rigs. So I always had to depend on a ride to go to hockey. So I always had to pick a team where I knew I could get a ride because my mom
Yeah.
didn't drive a car. She was raising kids. So this just the whole thing of that lifestyle, everything that I went through is I love it. Like, it's in my system. I'm 55, December 30th, and
Yeah. Happy belated, by the way.
thank you. I'll die
Yeah.
a rink rat. I'll
Yeah.
die a rink rat. It's my life, and it's great memories. I thank you for asking that question because the memories are unbelievable.
Yeah, and it's good to put you back into that mindset. It's good to what's the word I'm looking for? Look back on the good times in life, and there still could be more ahead, even though it's tough times now.
I hope there's
but
more.
you and I sure hope there's more too. Listen, you and I have very similar mindsets. I follow you on Instagram. I see your social media posts, and that's the mindset. You have the mindset of a dedicated warrior, like a real, the right mindset to have. And it's not just saying that. Like, I follow this religiously and try and follow people that bring perspective to life, and to really try and motivate and to not look at the negative. And I see you do that with your motivating posts, and others like it, and I like it. I think it's phenomenal content because you've still risen to the challenge. That that there's challenges out there, but you're still grateful. You feel that grateful, blessed moment, even though, because this has really made us think what is really important in life, and to really analyze what we, instead of wanting, but being blessed in the moment and grateful for what we do have. When you hear about all these horrible stories in the news about sickness, the virus, the businesses shutting down, it's just it's a tragedy on all levels. And so it really makes you think that all we have is this moment, and you really show that online. And I think you've really become more than just that guy that played hockey in the NHL. You're a motivator, and I feel like that's you're really riding through with your purpose in this life. So good on you for doing that.
I appreciate that. It's one of these things that it helps me. I get up some mornings and, I'm like anybody else. I don't feel well. I got mental health. Like, we all got something going on.
Yeah.
And through these times, Rob, I just find that posting something that's real and positive and maybe changing, I get a lot of direct messages of thank you for this. I needed it today. And I'm not doing this to say, oh, look what I'm doing about making, I'm doing it because it makes me feel better, number one. And then when I have somebody, come back and say, you know what, that was a great post. It really changed my day. Then you know what, I'm planting seeds and helping. So that's why I do it.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's fantastic. You're an influencer, and you're a motivator, and you inspire. So that's it's good to know that you do that, and you are inspiring others. So what I love about your backdrop here is that's my dream backdrop at some point, is to have some more memorabilia in the background. I've sort of came up with this show, on the fly throughout COVID, because we all have visions and dreams and aspirations. And I've always wanted to host some kind of a memorabilia and autograph show. And I thought, why not try this outlet, see what happens with it, have some fun. We're all at home, rather be doing this than picking my nose. So you got to do something, right? And try and, so this is what I've come up with: the sweet spot, memorabilia, autographs, and more. And if you haven't heard yet as to why I call it that, is because, I'm fascinated with baseballs. That would be, it's like saying someone were to sign, I don't know what the sweet spot of a hockey puck is, but for baseball, it's that middle part of the baseball where, you have someone that I would say is valuable, or an MVP, or a champion in life, or a Hall of Famer on that baseball. And I collect those. And that's mostly what I collect, along with some 8x10 pictures and such that have fabulous moments on it, like the Joe Carter home run in '93, or let's say some fascinating picture from the final game between you guys and Montreal at the Forum. Those type of items signed, and that's how I've come up with this show. And so my aspiration is to have a background like yours at some point. I'm in between homes, but I think that's the goal, is to have that vision of it, so that people can understand what this show is all about. So thank you for showing up in that. It's a fascinating collection you have back there. Are those all your jerseys from the NHL?
Yeah. So if you can see.
Yeah. Oh, I just can't hear you for a second. The audio I lost. I think you're muted now. Why can't I hear you?
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, now I can hear you.
No, it's just because I was talking away from the computer. What I was saying, Rob, is if I move, you'll see Washington, New Jersey.
Wow.
Yeah, it's my
all the
6
teams in
teams
the
I
Mighty
played
Ducks.
for.
Yeah, the 6 teams, incredible. And those were like game worn jerseys at some point.
Yeah.
Incredible. How did that
I
work?
was when I played, I was a collector. Like this whole room has sticks, a lot of Gretzky stuff. I'm just going to show you a painting here from the Campbell Conference trophy. Oh, can you see it there on the wall?
Yeah, that's you and Gretzky.
That's Gretzky and I around the Campbell Conference and trophy in Maple Leaf Gardens.
Wow.
So, yeah, he signed that to me, which is very kind of him.
That's incredible. And so you're a collector. Like, so by the way, we're on the Barn Burner TV network. We're on ZINGOTV channel 250 right now, and TSN 1150. Hamilton, my guest being Jim Thompson, former NHLer, and now the CEO and president, I guess. Is that what you call yourself, of the Aurora Tigers? The CEO?
Governor. They call us governors.
The governor of an OJHL hockey team, which is the Aurora Tigers. And we sure hope that the kids can get back on the ice soon and play and safely, of course. So you were saying autographs and memorabilia is something you collected even throughout your NHL days. Maybe even did it start as a kid, or is it something that came to you through your NHL days?
Well, as a kid, I was a hockey card collector. I had a paper route, and I would go down and buy boxes of hockey cards. And then, when I started playing, I just, teammate, like, Wayne, can I get a stick signed? So Wayne would sign a stick to me. My teammates as I went along, and then teammates or players that I knew that I played against. Do you mind if I get a stick signed? So I'm in the back of my room here. I probably got, 30, 40 NHL game used sticks of guys that I know, like really good ones. Chris Chelios, Bob Probert's old Sherwood sticks, Peter Zezel's, the old wooden sticks, Jason Spezza's old Sherwood. So some really neat sticks. Gretzky's from the Montreal season. I got one of those signed to me. And so, Rob, I was just the guy, I got walls of Hollywood stars. So in LA, John Candy, Tom Cruise, whoever, it could be anybody, would come into our dressing room after a game.
Wow.
Sylvester Stallone. So I was always up. We had a team photographer. I get a picture of it, and then they would send us pictures. So I kept them all, and I got a nice little museum going here of my career.
Yeah, it's fantastic. Maybe one day I could broadcast the show out of there. It looks really good. Yeah,
Anytime
yeah,
you want.
yeah. It's amazing. Um, like I was saying about the what my sweet spot is in collecting is those baseball. For you, if you could choose, is it the sticks? Is it cards to be signed? What is it that fascinates you the most?
I would probably say sticks are pretty cool.
Yeah,
I'm like, just the different curves, the weight, the flex. When people come in here, I hand them Gretzky's stick, the greatest player to ever play, and how stiff, how straight his blade is, and how heavy it is. People are just like, "Are you kidding me?" And
yeah,
then I'll hand him Ryan Getzlaf's stick, who's 6'4". It doesn't compare, right? Like just I mean, technology and what have you. But yeah, I'm big on sticks. I think they're especially if they're game used.
yeah. That's your thing. Now, like, and this is like to, and I try and come up with fascinating questions because and ones that people might want to know, like, what is it like in the dressing room? Is it like frowned upon to a certain extent if you ask for more than one autograph when you are an athlete yourself, or is it kind of like, oh yeah, we're buddies, listen, I'll sign something for you, or I'll sign something for your kid? How does that all go about? Take us behind the scenes a little bit.
So if you're like when I was on a team,
Yeah,
it was nothing, right? I'd say, Stu Grims and whoever, can you
right.
sign me a stick to my kid? That
Yeah,
was like they were honored to do it.
yeah, yeah.
Good example. I went back for the 20-year anniversary of the Mighty Ducks.
Hmm.
So all the original team was there, and we went to practice, went into the room to see the guys after. So you got Corey Perry, Ryan Getzlaf, Timo Solani.
Wow.
So being a collector, the
Yeah,
guys were really shy. I just went out and I was like, Timo, you
yeah,
know, I played against you. You wouldn't remember me. I really admire you. Would you sign a stick to my son, James?
yeah,
I'd
yeah,
be happy to.
yeah, yeah. And
All the other guys are looking. Then I go up to Getzlab and do it. It wasn't like I was soliciting them because I really wanted their stick. And it's signed to my kids, right?
yeah,
So, that's just what I did because people did it to me when I played. I wasn't at their stature, but when someone say, "Hey, can I get an autograph stick?" You know,
yeah,
we're in the same union. We're in the same,
yeah,
you know, time zone, if you will. So it's not like, the Ducks are going, oh, they're giving away sticks to, it depends who it is, who you're asking, right? They're not
exactly.
just going to sign a stick to every person that asks them. But when you're
Yeah,
talking about an alumni, there
yeah,
was no issue. So, it's like, Bobby Probert, who sadly passed away. And I asked him, I said, you know what? I'd love to get one of your sticks. Him and I did that movie Love Guru together, right? So he signed one of his Sherwood sticks, and it's just what you do.
do you have any like a childhood hockey sort of piece of memorabilia moment? Like, I'll give you as an example for myself, is being at the Forum as a kid, and who was it? I was with my dad, and he took me, and I was just so fascinated with the Habs. I was like, maybe 10 years old at the time, and they at that point they let you in once in a while if nobody was around. I don't know what the rules were like. I was a kid, but you could watch practice once in a while. Got in there, and I'll never forget that feeling of when Stéphane Lebeau lifted the puck over the glass and gave me like a practice puck. I'm like, oh my God, like that feeling. And you remember that as a kid. And like, it's like, I'm 37 years old right now, but that feeling, it's those childhood memories that you create. And I do that at our rink too. Cause for those that don't know, like I was doing some work with Jim for the PA work. And if a puck flies over the boards into the operations room where we host, and we use all the controls to make the switchboard work. If a puck's flying over there, I'm tossing it up to a kid because I want to pay it forward, and I have that memory and of that moment, and you never forget it as a kid. And I like to pay it forward like that. So for you, did you have something like that as a kid where it lit up inside and you'll never forget it?
Yeah. First of all, I played with Stefan LeBeau in Anaheim, so great guy.
Yeah.
Um, my dad, a rare moment, because like I told you earlier, he was out of town. So he took me to a WHA game,
Yeah.
Edmonton playing Winnipeg Jets. And that's when they had the great jet line of Ulf Nielsen, Bobby Hall, and Anders Hedberg.
Yeah.
So Anders Hedberg was a Swedish right winger who shot left. He had the Jofa helmet on, long blonde hair. Well, I was immediately attracted to him. And that night he scored 3 goals, beautiful goals, and that became my favorite player.
Yeah.
So that was a moment of, my first pro hockey game, seeing this number 15 from the Winnipeg Jets, and that just, then he went to the New York Rangers and I followed him there. But for me, that was a moment that I fell in love with pro hockey.
Yeah, that moment. Amazing. And you never forget that. It's incredible. So you yourself, have you paid it forward in the years ahead in terms of experiences you might be able to share for yourself about signing autographs for fans, how that made you feel? And do you have any specific memories of signing for fans?
Well, I'll say this, when I was in Anaheim, I believe we broke the record for sold memorabilia. We would sign thousands of pieces for Disney. We were owned by Disney. So after practice, we come out and the whole hallway would be filled with sticks, pucks. We used to have the wild wing mask, the duck mask. We'd be there hours signing stuff, and then we'd take shifts. Like they had us, I think they broke records for sales because they sold it in the Disney stores and all that sort of thing. But what really makes me smile is till this day, I'll get my hockey cards in the mail and I'll sign them. Whoever sends them, I'll sign them and send them back. So when you're playing, it's kind of part of the lifestyle.
Yeah.
Right. Give me your autograph. You go in line and, because you're a player, they ask for it. But now to have fans that, write you a letter and tell you that they actually were a fan and sign the card, and that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's a pretty cool feeling for sure. We do have Justin Levine standing by shortly here for an NHL update, since we are talking NHL, and that's kicking off next week. We're on the Barn Burner TV network, ZINGOTV channel 250 on Smart TVs 2016 newer and TSN 1150 out of Hamilton. Thanks so much for joining us today. It is the Sweet Spot memorabilia, autographs, and more. Joined by my special guest, Jim Thompson, former NHLer and now the governor of the Aurora Tigers. And you also are a big fan of fulfilling dreams, not only the ones that you've had, but others as well, including myself. You fulfilled my dream of being a public address announcer in the Ontario Junior Hockey League. And I want to know tell me a little bit about your current brand when you say Jim Thompson's dreams do come true. What is that all about?
So I started, Rob, when I went to rehab. I had issues with drugs and alcohol. So I celebrated my 12th year sobriety. And what happened was I started helping people. And once I was clear and, I had a gift to help kids that were on drugs, help kids that maybe had mental health. So the past 10 years, I've been doing a lot of interventions. I've been doing a lot of mentoring. Yeah. So I always look at anything and everything as we're all looking to have a better life. We're all looking to feel better. And sometimes it's just a dream. My dream came true. And a quick story, I was sitting with my boys and Don Cherry, this would have been 10 years ago, 11 years ago. Don Cherry was on Hockey Night in Canada. And he came on and he said, to all you parents and coaches telling your kids they can't make it, he said, shame on you, because kids dream and dreams do come true. There's 750 kids in the NHL. Yeah. I thought, wow, that's powerful. So what I did was I drew out this tattoo. So I got a tattoo on my arm here. My whole arm here is a hockey arm. So it starts with Dreamer. And then it's got my junior teams, my American League teams, and then my 6 NHL teams at the top.
And those were
come true. So
those were all
that became my company. That became my brand. And basically what it is, this, I always say this, the NHL was not my calling. My calling is to help people with my experience, with my life experiences of what not to do. So what I do now is I find a way to help people become better people and happier people. That's my calling.
That's great, and that's it's unbelievable. I'm so happy you do that and share and can share that positive lifestyle. So we are on the Barn Burner TV network, Zingo TV channel 250 and TSN 1150. Hamilton, Jim Thompson, my guest, and I'm joined by Justin Levine, who's standing by here. You both know the NHL. I would say a little more than I do in terms of breaking it down in terms of what's going on next week as we embark on a new season. Justin, quite the expert, and of course yourself, Jim, if you don't mind sticking around another 5 minutes. Justin, do you have
Sure.
an update for us that maybe you both could talk about and get into in terms of the NHL season kicking off next week?
100%.
Yeah, so the government has officially cleared for Quebec to host the Montreal Canadiens. We know that was done yesterday. The province of Ontario is still waiting as they're still reviewing their case for the Toronto Maple Leafs. That is expected to go through. It's just a matter of when that will be. But other than that, I think it's just now that, we already know that Alberta and BC have cleared, and of course the World Juniors are going on in Edmonton, so very little concern there that wasn't going to happen. So again, it's all kind of weighing on Ontario now, and I think a bubble they were really trying to avoid, and they have a hybrid bubble plan should things go the wrong way, but they're really hoping to avoid that. So we'll see what happens.
Nice. What do you, Jim, any words in terms of what the season that's about to happen? Like, do you have any visions of how it'll turn out, or who will make it, who the last few teams will be in the end, who looks strong, who looks weak, or not weak, I should say, but needs improvement?
I first of all, watching baseball get through it, watching the NFL get through it without bubbles.
Yeah.
I'm certain that the NHL will have it figured out. You got to go with, like, if you're asking me who I think is going to be tough to, like, the teams at the end, Tampa Bay, what's different about Tampa Bay?
Mm-hmm.
I believe the Edmonton Oilers, with all that talent, are going to, they're going to be heard from. And I'll tell you this, I'm not a Leaf fan, meaning I love all the teams. So it's not like I'm in Toronto and I'm a diehard Leaf fan. But I believe that the Leafs have enough to win the Stanley Cup. And people are down on Anderson. I believe Anderson's a hell of a goalie. I believe with the right combination of defensemen and forward systems in front of him, he can get it done. But, they've made some great pickups with Joe Thornton. I believe the Leafs are going to be heard from, and I think they can win the Stanley Cup this year.
Okay. I will. We're talking in the first week of the new year. I hope that shakes down for you guys, because you know what, I think they deserve it at some point, and why not now? And as long as they don't play my Montreal Canadiens in the final, then it's all good. Yeah. But yeah, they I'm not one of those Habs fans that it's like, never do I want to see the Leafs win. I truly believe that it would be remarkable for the GTA and well deserved, and would love to see the celebration. So in terms of I'd like to give you the floor here a little bit on the Barn Burner TV network and Zingo TV channel 250 and TSN 1150, Jim Thompson, to talk about, if, let's say, COVID wasn't a thing right now, what would you have had planned in your, what's your vision, or what would have been, or even now, like, what's your vision for 2021 if you could start it regularly, and that it wouldn't, in terms of hockey, like how would you like to see the year play out for your organization? Like how, with COVID, and I know it's a little bit of a complicated question. I'm just trying to think, how, if COVID wasn't a thing, what would be your mindset right now for your
Well,
team?
it's funny you said that, because when I was working out this morning, I'm thinking, what game would we be into right now if it was a regular season?
Yeah.
So I'd be, today is Tuesday. We'd be going to practice, getting ready for our home night on Friday night, preparing for that. I missed that. I missed the week preparation, getting ready for the weekend games. And I'll say this, with Ontario approving the Maple Leafs to play, I'm hoping that spirals down to the OHL, to the OJHL, and, whether it's minor hockey, these kids need to play hockey. And, we've had games in our league, exhibition games, Rob, that you would know of. There's been 0 cases of COVID.
Mm-hmm.
Trenton and Wellington, Lindsay, Collingwood, Whitby, they played I think 60 some hockey games, and there was nothing.
Yeah.
So what I'm hoping for is that this announcement by Ontario that it'll spiral down to us and we'll start playing hockey.
Mm-hmm. We're both, I'm sure I could say this for Justin as well, that we really start to dive deeper into the mental health aspect, and there's a lot of anxiety that comes with playing in the situation that is the world right now. Your boys start game 1 tomorrow. What are you telling them to keep that anxiety at bay, to have the mental health aspect on their side in these times? What are you telling them to try and cope and to play hard still?
At this point, have fun.
Just have fun.
You know, at this point, be blessed that we're back on the ice. You know, even if we play without hitting, who cares?
Yeah.
Who cares? Be blessed that you're back on the ice, you're playing. Like I said earlier, if we get 20, 25 games in, 30 games, we're blessed to get that in. So go and let it all out, have fun, be safe, be smart, and you know, just enjoy the game that you've missed. Because I'll say this to you. The amount of people that have tuned into the World Juniors, okay, especially from minor hockey. Obviously, the NHL is a different brand, but minor hockey, our level, the diehard hockey fan, man, oh man, it's been great to watch hockey. So I can't wait for our league to get back, because we will get traction of people want to come watch hockey. And like I said, if they don't come in the stands, they're going to watch it on hockey TV.
Yeah, absolutely. Is there anyone you want to say hi to, or anyone you know, give a shout out to, might be watching today, or anything you'd like to plug quickly before we go to Eric Cohen today?
Well, I want to say to all the young hockey players out there, there's just stay positive. You know, you're going to start skating again. The rinks will open up, and we're going through a unique time in our life. And just be positive and believe that we're going to be back on the ice, and everybody will be playing hockey again eventually. And my message to everybody is just try to be positive. You know, be happy. Be happy. There's so much bad going on in our world. Try to keep everybody balanced and happy.
Yeah. This is the one thing, and the last thing before I let you go here, that just sticks out in my mind in terms of things maybe having to change in certain habits. And I think of this of baseball players and maybe even hockey players, but it's not unusual for phlegm to develop, or I see that, like, you know, hockey players spit, baseball players, they do it. And it's like, is someone going to have to stand in that dressing room in each organization and lay out a set of rules of what you can and cannot do on the ice anymore? There's sweat flying. That's the kind of anxiety I kind of think of. What's your thoughts on that?
Well, we already went through training camp before we got shut down, and we had strict rules from the OJ and Health Canada. There's no spitting. Everybody's got their own water bottle. Everybody's got their own towel. We're spread apart in the dressing room, but all these things that used to be, there's no more. Yeah. In the dressing room, as bad as it looks, all the kids got to wear a mask. Yeah. So here they are. This is their time, their enjoyment in a junior A dressing room, and this is just the way it is. This is the hand we've been dealt. But I'll tell you this, them being able to put their hockey gear on and go out and play hockey, they will do anything. So all these rules that are being implemented, our kids follow them to a T.
Yeah.
And it's adjustments in life, right? Yeah. But
yeah.
At the end of the day, all they want to do is play hockey.
Yeah. You got to look at are you looking at the glass half full or half empty? And the glass half full is you're getting to play the game you love. There's going to be challenges, but hey, you're on that ice, and to them, that's a dream come true. And
100%.
And you're a dream come true for joining me today. Thank you so much, Jim Thompson. I really appreciate you being on the program today.
I'm glad that you asked me, Robbie. All the best to you and your family, and the gentleman, Eric and Justin. Happy New Year, and I'll be listening to you guys when I get off.
Okay. Thanks so much. Really appreciate it, Jim. Talk to you soon. Okay. That's Jim Thompson, former NHLer, played for several teams in professional hockey, and you should totally follow him on Instagram. He's a great person to follow at Jim Thompson 33. and see what he's all about. He's got a fantastic brand and positive outlook on life, and we need more positivity in this world. That's for sure. So, Justin Levine, any last few words in terms of the NHL season before we head to Eric?
No, not really. There's really not a lot going on. I'm just hoping that the Montreal Canadiens do well this season. I mean, like Jim said, hoping that the Leafs get the cup, kind of hoping that that goes sideways and that there's leeway for the Canadiens, but we'll see.
Yeah, there you go. So the first game on, I guess you could say, Hockey Night in Canada is that January 13th game on the calendar, right?
Against, yeah, Leafs versus Habs on January 13th at Scotiabank Arena.
Should be fantastic. We'll look forward to that and hopefully get an update from you as well. You're welcome on this show anytime. Justin Levine, thank you so much, pal.
Thank you.
All right. Thursday night football is not happening tonight on TSN 1150 on the Thursday, January 7th edition of Thursday Night Football, which is normally it would be Thursday Night Football on TSN 1150, but it's being moved to this Saturday, the 9th of January, with a variety of games on the schedule. And joining me now, Eric Cohen of TSN, who has an update in the football world. So why, Eric? Well, first of all, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. How are you, Rob?
I'm doing well. Doing well, thanks. And good to see you on the program. What did you have a good New Year? Spent quiet night kind of thing?
Well, yeah, it was quiet. I mean, 2020, as Jim was saying, is so much negativity in this world, and New Year's was just one of many other things that we lost out on in 2020, and just hoping for a much better year and for everyone to be safe and to be able to get back to some sort of a normal life and normal celebrations and being with friends, being with family, things that we all are really, really missing because it has been a long time. So yeah, absolutely.
Oh, for sure. So in terms of football, why is it that that it's being moved this week from the Thursday nighter to a few games on Saturday?
Well, there will not be any more Thursday night football, Rob, because the playoffs are here, my friend. So there are 6 games this weekend. They changed the format because of COVID. They allowed 7 teams in each conference to get in. Only 1 team gets a bye. So in the AFC, it's Kansas City. In the NFC, it's Green Bay. And the other 6 teams that qualify for the playoffs in each conference are playing this weekend. So it is a busy, busy weekend. 3 games Saturday, 3 games Sunday. Catch them all on TSN. We obviously are thrilled to be able to bring it to you. And yeah, we'll get going really quickly here with 6 games. The Bills host the Colts in the first game on Saturday, 1 o'clock. The Bills winning their division for the first time since 1995. Buffalo is red hot. They won 9 of 10 down the stretch. The only game they lost was on a Hail Mary to Arizona, so I expect Buffalo to win there. Then you got the Seahawks and Rams, division rivals. Their second game on Saturday. They split their 2 games this year. We don't know who's going to be a quarterback for the Rams. Jared Goff missed week 17 with a thumb injury at surgery, hoping to play. We don't know yet. Seattle, I think, wins that game. And then Tom Brady, first playoff game of the Tampa Bay Buccaneer on Saturday night. Bucs taking on the Washington football team, and a really good story there with Alex Smith and Washington winning that division because Philadelphia laid down the fourth quarter on Sunday night. So that game happens this Saturday night. Expect Tampa Bay to win that game on the road. And probably the game of the week, Sunday, the first game on Sunday, the Ravens and the Titans. The Ravens, they're red hot. They won 6 in a row down the stretch, but Tennessee beat them in last year's playoffs. Tennessee beat them in overtime this year, a walk-off Derrick Henry touchdown, and Tennessee is a home underdog with Baltimore listed as a 3.5-point road favorite. And then the second game, you got the Bears and you got the New Orleans Saints. The Saints, the biggest favorite on the board, laying 10 points in that game. They met earlier this year. The Saints won that game in overtime. Really tough game in Chicago. Bears, I think I like them to keep this closer than the point spread would indicate. And then you got the Browns and the Steelers. It's a rematch from Week 17. The Steelers didn't have much to play for, so they didn't play Ben Roethlisberger, and they lost. But the Browns needed to squeak out a win there just to get into the playoffs. And now they head to Pittsburgh, a place they haven't won anywhere. I haven't won in Pittsburgh in 17 years. So it can be very tough for the Cleveland Browns in that game. Plus, Kevin Stefanski came down on Tuesday that he got COVID, so he won't be able to be the coaching Cleveland, and 5 other players or coaches also with COVID for the Browns. So all of a sudden now, a real uphill battle for Cleveland in that game. Expect the Steelers to win that game. And if the Steelers win that game, they will head to Buffalo if the Bills can beat the Colts for the divisional round. So yes, lots of football this weekend, Rob. Keep it locked into TSN because that's where you want to be all weekend long. You don't have to move much. Have a few cold beverages, have your remote, and just sit there and watch a lot of football. It's certainly what I'll be doing this weekend.
Amazing. So that'll be what'll happen moving forward on the program here on the Sweet Spot Memorabilia Autographs and More. You'll join me Thursdays to talk about the latest moving forward in terms of playoffs and what might and what will happen on Saturdays. Most games will be Saturdays moving forward.
Yeah, so for the next couple weeks. Yep, Saturday, Sunday, because it'll be the wild card round. You get games Saturday, Sunday, and then you have the divisional round the week after. And once again, games will be on Saturday and Sunday. So yes, lots of football to discuss, Rob.
Awesome. Okay, we'll get your expertise on the program in the next few weeks moving forward for those weekend games. Thank you again so much, and Happy New Year, Eric Cohen. Really appreciate you joining me today.
You as well, Rob. All the best.
Yeah, you too. We'll talk soon. That's Eric Cohen of TSN, heard here weekly on the Sweet Spot Memorabilia Autographs and More on the Barn Burner TV network. We're on ZingoTV channel 250 and TSN 1150 Hamilton, all of which those platforms can be followed on social media. So please feel free to look them up: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and you can watch this program via those outlets as well. This program is available on 122 different platforms as well, 2 days after it airs, like iHeartRadio, iTunes, and more. You can look that up. There's even Radio Public. There are so many options to take a listen to this show and many others on the Barn Burner TV network and ZingoTV channel 250 as well. So I'd like to thank again everybody for joining today on the Sweet Spot Memorabilia Autographs and More, including Eric Cohen, Justin Levine, and my guest Jim Thompson, former NHLer, and who played for many teams throughout his playing career, which is fantastic. Got a little taste of everything, which is amazing. Hartford, played in New Jersey, the LA Kings. If you may have seen my Instagram, that fantastic photo of him skating. Do you remember Eric Cohen? Because you're still here for a minute. Which year that was? That was 93. The jersey with the 75 years crest. I think it was.
That was 93. Of course, was it's synonymous for Leaf fans. It was the year that Kerry Fraser took away their opportunity to go to the Stanley Cup final with the no high stick call Gretzky on Gilmore. That was the 93 playoffs. That's right. Yeah. So yeah, I think you're right. That would be correct. Yeah,
it's a great photo. You can see that on mine. I guess you could say shameless plug at Rob Daniels 1983 on Instagram. I got the photo of Jim Thompson up there, and of course follow Jim for lots of positivity, because he preaches mental health. I'm a big advocate of that as well. So at Jim Thompson 33, follow him. And thanks to producer Giancarlo Alino, who produces The Sweet Spot each and every week here on the Barn Burner TV network, ZingoTV channel 250, and TSN 1150. Thank you, and thanks to you for watching this week, the first episode of The Sweet Spot in the year 2021. Let's hope it's a much better year than last. One day at a time, though, right? One moment at a time. Until next